Hello, Betty.
Hi, Tim. Thank you for taking my call. Hi, Mr. Cuff.
Hi, Betty. Thanks for calling.
I've got one question and one comment. One, I've learned a lot how to defend my faith through different conversion stories like yours, Tim, and just so many,
Uh-huh.
and listening to Scott Hahn and just reading a bunch of books. But the only place I'm stuck is every time I hear people say, well, yeah, but did you know about this pope? And what about when this pope did this and this pope did that,
Yes.
many, many moons ago? I
Yeah.
don't know how to, I don't know
Yeah.
all these things about the early popes.
Betty, it's a great question. I know your question is echoing what's on the mind of a lot of listeners today. It's an
Okay.
old canard that people who don't like the church use, and that's to bring up the bad popes. Well, I like to go even farther and talk about the first pope. The first pope that Jesus Christ called, his first vicar that he knew he was going to found the church on, we know from Matthew 16, is Peter. Now, Peter was the
Right.
flimsiest of all the apostles. The least qualified to be called rock was Peter. Okay? If you had a PR firm set up to do a job search, Peter would not be on your top 10 list. He denied him 3 times. He within hours, Lord, I'll die for you. To I do not know the man.
Yes.
So not all that impressive behavior. But Betty, the important thing is, through history, we've had 265 popes. Most of them, I mean over 99%, have been solid, scholarly, saintly, holy men of God. Has God blessed us with some popes we prefer not to have blessed us with? Yes.
Yes.
There are a handful of bad popes, the Medicis, the Borgia Pope era, I believe it was Alexander the Sixth. Yes, Martin Luther had a lot of reasons to rebel against bad behavior in the church. The key, Betty, is that the Holy Spirit is promised to the church primarily through the leaders of the church when they proclaim the gospel, and their behavior can't mess it up. The church is indestructible because the church has to be indestructible. It's made up of weak sinners like me. So Jesus knew what he was doing, and over time, he's been remarkably faithful in the quality of the men that he's raised up. I mean, Alexander the Sixth had mistresses, he had men killed, he had hits put out of them, but the Holy Spirit protected the church and him from teaching any error.
That's right.
That's the key. The church can't teach error because the Holy Spirit is the Spirit of truth, and Christ did not leave us orphans. I'll tell you a quick anecdote, Betty. It's from the Decameron of Dante, and it's about a Jewish businessman in Paris named Abraham, very practical guy, comes to the bishop of Paris saying, Bishop, I'm speeding the story up now, I want to become a Catholic, I want to be baptized, but I first want to go to Rome. And the bishop said, Abraham, you probably want to just get baptized now, because he knew how bad Rome was. It was corrupt. It was open wanton behavior. It would be a
Yes.
scandal. He would never come to the church. Nope, I'm a practical businessman. I'm going to go there, and I'll be back in a fortnight. So he goes to Rome, comes back, rings the doorbell of the bishop's residence, and says, hey, bishop, I'm here. Baptize me. Abraham, you went to Rome. You saw all the corruption and all the bad behavior and the scandal. Yeah, I did. You still want to be baptized? Mm-hmm. Well, can I ask why? He said, Your Excellency, when I was in Rome, I saw things so bad I couldn't believe my eyes. This organization is so corrupt, so scandal-ridden and badly run. It would have folded 2 weeks after the resurrection. It has to have God behind it. I want in.
That's right. And you know what, Betty, you asked the question about when I went in when I was at Jimmy Swaggart Bible College. I went in before a professor there who was a former Catholic priest. And he and I, let's just say, went at it about an hour and a half. But I'll never forget, Betty, and it's on the new CD set we're going to send to you that's going to work well. I said to him, after he shared with me some of the things he saw when he was a Catholic priest, functioning as a Catholic priest in the church, and he saw scandalous things. And I said to him, Brother Karadegas, you cannot leave Peter because of Judas.
Mm-hmm.
It does not make sense. And with that, he asked me to leave real quickly. But that's something that all Catholics need to know, the distinction between the magisterial authority of the church, the teaching authority, and the person who is sitting in the chair, who is a sinner and needs to go to confession just like we do. That's a key distinction, isn't it?
Yep. And Pat Madrid has a good book on this, kind of popular, very wittily written book called Pope Fiction that I recommend, Betty.
Excellent book. Well, Betty, we got to move on
Appreciate
to
your
our
call.
next caller. Thanks so much for your call. Great question.